How do I override functions inside of Unreal Script? Well, in this video, we're going to create a customized trigger that plays a sound when touched instead of triggering an event. And in order to do this, we're going to need to override the touch event. Now, to get started, I'm going to make a new script class inside of our source folder. I'll jump into this directory, and you'll note that I already have a test package in place. We'll jump into that and inside of its classes folder. Now, to get this new class started, I'll begin with a new text document. We'll call this file proximity alert.uc, and we'll load this up in a text editor. And we'll begin with this new class by setting up the base class, basically setting up the class definition by telling it that it extends trigger. So this class, that is class proximity alert, is going to extend the trigger class. Now, this gets into the functionality portion here. What we need to do is, again, we need to have this proximity alert class override the functionality of the touch event. And in order to get an idea of what we need to do here, other than just knowing that it has a touch event, is it would be very helpful to have the trigger class itself open and look at its code. That way we can get an idea of what the trigger event is, what it does, what its method signature is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up a directory where I have extracted the downloaded UT3 script source. Again, this can be downloaded from udn.epicgames.com. If we look in the development source engine classes folder, this is where we will find the trigger class. So I can load that up in our text editor side by side with our new proximity alert so that I can look for the event that we're going to override. If we scroll down a little bit, we see we have this event touch. This is the function we wish to override. And we can see that it has a method signature requiring things like an actor, a primitive component, and so on. Now, since we have to match this method signature anyway, it's actually easier just to copy the function in question and then just change what code goes within it. So if I actually copy the entire touch event over into our proximity alert, we can simply replace the code within. Again, we want to have a completely custom function or functionality happen inside of this, so I'm going to wipe out everything dealing with events. And now we're free to write whatever we would like inside of here. So what I want to have happen is a sound, an audible sound being played as we touch this actor. So I'm going to leverage some of the functionality that's actually found in the actor class, and that is the play sound function. So we're going to run play sound, and then we need to specify some sound. I'm going to give in a variable. Instead of hard coding this, I think what I'll do is I'll actually jump back up before this event and declare a variable to hold the sound itself. So I'm going to make a var a var of type sound cue, and we can call this variable alert sound. Again, this just gives a convenient placeholder, data holder for our sound. Also, it allows us to set up the sound from within the default properties block. So now with this alert sound, inside of play sound, we'll play the alert sound. It also makes it so that we don't have to set up a new instance of sound cue every time we play the sound. And also, if I look back up, I think I have misspelled alert. Let me get the spelling correct on that. That is alert sound for the variable name, matching this one that I'm now typing in play sound. So again, going for a play sound for alert sound, type sound cue as the variable. Now, alert sound, of course, needs to be a sound cue, and that hasn't been created anywhere in code. We need to have an actual sound cue in place in order to be able to use this. So I'll specify that with the default properties block. We'll jump down a couple lines and put in a new default properties area. And inside of this default properties block, we'll say that the default value for alert sound is equal to a new sound cue. And there's a specific sound cue that we want to grab. That's found in the package a_ctf.cue.a_gameplay_ctf underscore flag alarm cue. So that is the specific sound resource that we wish to load into our sound cue and to play when the actor itself is touched. So with this now, we should be able to save out our file, and it is at this point that we would need to go and run UT3 make in order to build this into our new package. Alright, give it a second for the make window to appear, and it'll go through all of the packages and make sure that everything builds alright, and wow, okay, look at that. We do have a warning from this build, but let's take a look at what this is. There's actually a warning on one of the references here to a specific sound cue. So if we scroll out, we can see that there's, okay, unresolved reference to a.gameplay@ctfq, and I believe the end of this name, ctf underscore alarm cue, has an underscore before Q. So let's go back and change that out. Let's go back into our text editor, and let's add an underscore before Q, save out the file, and rerun make. So giving it just a second to load back up, and as we parse through everything, we have everything compiling successfully. So that was indeed the case. There was just simply a reference missing to that specific asset. So now we can load Unreal Editor and test and see if this new class is working. So we'll load up Unreal Editor. With Unreal Editor loaded, we now need a map open that we can actually test this new actor with. So I'm going to go load up a simple test map that we have been using, this test room map. Give it a second to load in, and this gives us a test level in which to place the actor. Now, of course, this new proximity alert actor will be found under the actor class's browser. If we scroll down to the trigger section, we can see we have our proximity alert. So I'll select proximity alert, and we'll add one to the center of the room. So I'll add a new proximity alert. Now, before I go jump in and play this level, I want to make this icon itself visible within the game so I don't have to go hunting around for the actor itself. And I can do that by loading up its properties, going to display and unchecking be hidden. This will make the icon itself visible in game. So now I'll jump into the level, and we can see the icon, and if we run up and hit it, we play a sound effect as we hit the new actor. So we have, in effect, overridden the functionality of a trigger actor and changed it to play a sound instead of trigger an event. And with that, that is going to wrap up this How Do I video.